a cold morning, so I've got my giant cup of Creo Brew. It says Mommy Fuel on it. It's super hot. I hope I don't dump it. It's really, really hot. By the time we finish this video, it's not going to be hot anymore. And I usually don't ever remember to drink it once I start talking. So if you haven't tried Creo Brew, you guys should try it, especially those of you who really love chocolate but don't want the guilt of or the worry of eating like a fat bomb chocolate or something like that, or even a sugar-free hot chocolate. This is a lot better choice. It's spelled C-R-I-O-B-R-U, and you can get it on Amazon or on creobrew.com. But it's basically roasted cocoa beans, so they make it kind of like they do with coffee beans, only it's cacao or cocoa, and it's really, really, really good. And then I just put in a little bit of half and half so I don't get too much fat in my drink, and some liquid stevia, and it's pretty amazing. At first I thought it tasted like chocolate water, but now I'm kind of addicted to it, especially on a cold morning. During the winter, I drink a lot of this stuff. All right, welcome, welcome everyone. It's good to see you. Hey, Angela, thank you for the reminder. ADH Snuggles is here. Tammy Wilson is here. PJB Burke is here. Patty Montero is here. Kim Cole D is here. Debbie Lyman, good morning. Tina Mensch, good afternoon. Well, it's not quite afternoon here yet, but it's getting there. Jennifer Gibson, hello. Jennifer Walls, hello. Lisa Sums, hello, beautiful. Hi. Dendi Flaug. I have no idea how to say that name. It's a cool name, though. Tell me how to say it, Dendi. Hope I'm right. Hi. Trisha, thank you for the super chat. Good morning. Angie Cummings, good morning. L Queen BB. I think I got that right. I Queen BB. I Queen BB. I Queen B. B. That's even better. Hello. And Emily's live. Welcome. And Lady Bees, it's good to have you. All right, everybody. We got quite a few of you here this morning. Oh, Shanique Trimmingham, I haven't seen you before. Welcome. Jennifer Costa, hi. All right, you guys are all here. I'm excited. You are all here because you want to tell me how you're awesome on your New Year's resolutions, right? I hope so. If not, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to talk about that too. So, yeah, here we are sitting 3 weeks in, right? 3 weeks in. When they talk about creating a new habit or a new lifestyle, they always say the magic 21 days will make it a habit. And so there's something to be said about that. So if you have been able to stay strong following your New Year's resolution habits for the last 3 weeks, theoretically, you should be well on your way to a successful New Year's resolution year. Raise your hand if you have stayed really good with your habits for the last 21 days. Who's here that's done that? Let's see. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Tina Mensch says yes. Debbie Lyman gives a thumbs up. Tammy Wilson hit 50 pounds lost yesterday. Woo! Good job. She's been keto since August. All right. Oh, Angie Cummings has got her hand up. Lisa Sums is not raising her hand. That's okay. We will talk about that. Our Life the Keto Way. Amanda's raising her hand. PJ's raising a thumbs up. Jennifer Gibson's got a thumbs up. Lady B's has a hand up. Dendi has a hand up. Good job, you guys. Wow, that's awesome. So a lot of you have really put in the work to make this either a new habit or to continue on what you were already doing, which is basically kind of what I'm doing. I just went back to doing what I started doing, from the very beginning, basically from January 2017. Sharice has given us a thumbs up. Christina Collins says 55 pounds down since October. Jennifer Costa says every day is another opportunity. Yes, it is. I Queen Bee says, yay, good job. All right, you guys, that's amazing. I'm so proud of all of you. And even those of you who are struggling, I'm still proud because you're here. You're here because you're still trying and you're still trying to get back into that groove. So we're going to talk about those two things today. How to create habit, the best ways to keep staying motivated, and how to get back on the wagon if you've already kind of tiptoe outside of your plan for the year. Whether that is keto or not, we don't have to even talk keto with regards to New Year's resolutions. All of these things should apply to anything that you are interested in doing or changing in your life. So, some tips on how you can stay motivated if you're already still, you're 21 days in and you're doing really well. So some tips to stay motivated. Number 1, focus on the end goal. When I first started my weight loss journey, I would literally daydream about my end goal all day, every day. I would go over in my mind, how many weeks I thought it would take, what size I would be when, how many pounds I would be based on the current losing average of where I was at. I spent a lot of time daydreaming, and I really feel like what your thoughts focus on is what you will bring into your life. So if you're constantly focusing on the negatives of trying to do a weight loss journey, you're not going to get very far, because you're going to feel very drugged down and you're going to feel like it's a lot of hard work. Whereas if you're able to focus on the end goal and really think about how it will feel to be free of the weight, how it will feel to be able to wear a certain size, how it will feel to be able to go somewhere and not have to think about how big you are and things like that. If you can really focus on the positives of the end goal, it really helps you focus and redirect, because you won't be perfect forever. You will have days where it's hard. You will have days where you overeat your macros. You will have days where you maybe go off plan entirely, whether you choose to do it or whether it just happens. Those things will happen. But if you can keep that end goal down the track in your mind all the time and think about it all the dang time, you will course correct yourself over and over and over. Like someone said, every day, I think it was Jennifer, every day is a new day, every day is a new opportunity. And that's absolutely true. Doesn't matter how many bad days you have, if you keep focusing on trying to make tomorrow a good day, you will eventually get there. It's those who get really frustrated easily and just let themselves say, well, it's not working for me. I'm out. I'll try again next year, who end up in situations like I did, where you're 374 pounds and fearing for your life and fearing that your children will not have a mother. You do not need to get to that point in order to make a permanent change. For me, it's what I needed, but that doesn't mean that that is what you need. So focus on your thoughts on the positive. Focus your thoughts on the end goal. What you think is what you are. What you think is what you'll bring to yourself. Every morning in the shower, I think I've shared this before, I have 2 things that I chant, and I have done it for so many years. Even when I was really big, I would chant this because I wanted to keep my thoughts focused on becoming small, which is how I eventually found keto and got on my plan, because I never really let it go. But every morning in the shower, I tell myself that I have enough money to pay everything that I need, and that I have, that the fat is falling off of me because I don't need it. I tell my body, tell my brain that I don't need it in order to be happy, in order to be protected, in order to, whatever reason my body thinks I need the fat. I'm telling my body every single day I don't need it. So I just chant that in the back of my mind to the point where I don't even think about it anymore. It just happens when I get in the shower. It has become such an ingrained part of me that when I get in, I immediately start saying it in my head. So I always talk about money, because I know that when you think about being financially successful, that money will come to you. Now, since I started doing that, we have had times that we struggled with money, but for the most part, we always have what we need to pay the bills. Do we live paycheck to paycheck? Heck yes, we do. We have no savings. We're not awesome. What do you call Gordon Ramsay? Wrong. Ramsay. Dave Ramsey? Oh my gosh, Dave Ramsey people. That's not us. We have never been very good with our finances. But we do usually find a way to feed our children, clothe our children, and pay the bills to the best of our ability. We sometimes do get behind, but when I keep my thoughts focused on having what we need, we generally have what we need. So use that tip, focus your thoughts. That's the number 1 for staying motivated at this point. If you're just getting started or if you've gotten waylaid, this will also help you as well. Turning your thoughts from the negative. Don't stand on the scale and say, oh, it's up 3 pounds, I'm out. Don't do that to yourself. If the scale is doing that to you, get rid of the scale. It's just not worth it. Do measurements or just watch your clothing sizes or whatever, or just go by how you feel, because the scale lies every single frickety frackin' day. I'm not kidding. The scale is the worst liar. It does not tell you the actual truth that what you are doing is working. It takes a long, long time of tracking that scale number over time to see it go down. Does that make sense? Like, it will go like this the whole time. But as long as it goes like this and it goes further down each time, that's how you know you're on the path. So you need to really put the time in and not focus on the daily scale number, because that is not an accurate representation of your success. Okay? So if that's bothering you, ditch it. Ditch the scale. I am not a scale ditcher. I don't have a problem when the scale goes up and down, because I guess I've done it so long that I just know it's going to do that. And so I just expect it and I don't really get upset about it. But if it is bothering you, definitely either only weigh once a week or once a month, or pick a day in your cycle so you don't have to watch that water weight go up and down. I could do that. I could weigh in every 4 weeks and be fairly happy and never watch that water weight. But I don't mind it. So I choose to do it because I like to kind of keep a handle on it. And it's fun to see the number go down. And that's honest truth. I'm kind of addicted to watching that number go down. When it goes up, I just go, whatever. Tomorrow's a new day. That's kind of the attitude you have to have with the scale in order to stay motivated. So if this happens to you, which I know it has happened to some of you, where you already got on the scale and the scale went up, and so you're like, keto doesn't work for me, I'm out. Get back in. Get back in. Refocus. Give it more time. Give it 2 months at least. 2 cycles of your womanly cycle, or at least 2 weight loss 4-week cycles before you make a decision on whether or not it's going to work for you. Because it really does take a long time for it to start really showing, especially if you're not as big as I was when you start out. So I hope that helps. If you're having trouble focusing your thoughts, another great idea that I have not personally done, but that I have heard is very successful, is to have a vision board. So a vision board is basically a little poster or, a little pin board or whatever that you can put somewhere where you see it all the time, where you put pictures that focus your thoughts. So you can put pictures of money. You can put pictures of wearing nice clothes. You can put pictures of the size you want to be, of the clothing you want to wear, of the car you want to drive, the family you want to have, the husband you want to have if you're not married yet and you're still searching for the things that you're looking for, the home that you'd like to someday own. Whatever it is that you want to focus your thoughts on, bringing to you into your life, you can put those things on a vision board and put it where you'll see it every day. It's kind of like me in the shower. Whereas it just kind of sparks those thoughts in your brain when you see that poster and you go, oh yes, I really want to be size 8. I'm going to look like that. And you just think about it for a minute. And just tell yourself, yeah, I am going to look like that. I'm going to look amazing. I already look amazing, but I'm going to look even more amazing. And you just kind of like, not like brag to yourself or whatever, but you just tell yourself that inner voice that's lying to you is lying. Because if any negative thoughts are coming in your head, I guarantee you it is not you who's talking. It could be Satan. It could be whatever negative force that you believe in. But I don't believe it's truly us. I believe that there are forces out there that don't want us to be happy, that want us to be miserable, that don't want us to succeed in life, that don't want us to have the things that we want and the things that we feel like will bring joy to us. And so they're constantly, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're too fat. You're too ugly. You're whatever in your head all day long. You know it. You've heard it, right? Right in their ear. No. Just say no to the negative voices. Bring in as many positives as you can. Refocus your thoughts. Anytime that you have a negative thought, replace it with a positive one. Tell those negative thoughts you don't need them anymore, and they're gone. That is how you become successful on any journey, be it weight loss, be it financial success, be it anything, is by focusing on the positives, not listening to the negatives, letting those fears and anxieties go, trusting yourself trusting that you are amazing, that you do have the power to succeed at this, and that you will. And then you'll just keep refocusing. It's just subconscious. You won't let it go. If your thoughts are turned toward those positive things that you want, you will just keep bringing yourself to it. Even when I got up to 374 pounds, I was still chanting that in the shower, how I didn't need that fat. And eventually, my spirit found a way out. We clawed our way out of that place because I continually focused my thoughts on finding a way. Did it take a long time? Yeah, but I still believed it. And eventually it did come to pass. Am I grateful that I was 374 pounds? Yes. Yes. Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Right? I wouldn't have found my purpose in life, which is helping you guys. I wouldn't have experienced YouTube. I would have never got on YouTube. I thought YouTube was ridiculous. I had no idea that I would love YouTube so much. Thank God, literally, that he let me go through those hard times so that I could understand where you're coming from and I could feel what it feels like to be trapped. And I could tell you that there's a way out and that I can help you. I am grateful for that more than anything else in my entire life, even more than all of my beautiful 9 children and my amazing husband who I adore. Those experiences that God has given me, that I believe God has given me, or the universe, or whoever you believe in, those experiences have taught me to be a better teacher, to be a better mother, to be a better friend, be a better person. Do I still struggle with anxiety and depression and negative thoughts? Heck, yes. Every day I'm fighting that. Every day I'm fighting the disease of depression. And I'm winning. And I'm winning. And you know what? It feels really, really, really good to win, especially when it's a really hard fight. So, what are your guys' some of your tips on how to get back on plan, how to stay motivated, how to keep course correcting, get up and go and keep it? Because I know at the beginning of the year, everybody's excited. We're going to do this. We're going to have this success. But January is a tough month. And just coming up is Super Bowl. We all know it's coming up really quickly. And Super Bowl is usually about as far as anyone makes it on a weight loss plan. I've seen my friends do this time and time and again. It's weight loss season in January. We come into February and it all goes to crap. What are some of your best tips? I'm going to scroll down the bottom and see if anybody has awesome ideas to share with us, because I'm sure you do. And then I will go back up and read the other comments. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the bottom kind of and come up a little bit. So PJ says, "You're a blessing to the keto community. May God continue to guide you." Thank you. I trust him so much. I have learned to trust him so much. Just Keto Jen says, "The cravings will go away. It takes time." Yes. Keep in mind that the thing you're experiencing now is not the thing you will experience in an hour. Find a way to distract yourself, to just do something else, and don't dwell on the craving or the hunger or whatever it is that's fighting you. Or find a way to handle it that isn't going to be a carbohydrate or isn't going to be something that's going to waylay you. Think of something. So if you had a chance to watch, I don't know if anyone had a chance to watch my video this morning. I meant to put it up last night, but I was too tired. It's long, and I apologize. That's because it was multiple weeks instead of 1 or 2 weeks. It ended up being like 2 or 3 weeks all put together, and I apologize for that. But in there, I talked about that. So go back and check on the Tammy's Tidbits video if you haven't had a chance to. Let's see. But yeah, I talked about how I really chose to use food at one point because I needed to, and I decided to. And I went for sugar-free Jell-O because I knew it was the most, safe way to do it, and it worked. I've also been doing gum a lot of gum. I don't really necessarily recommend gum, but if you're feeling like you just have to chew on something, which sometimes I do with my anxiety, sugar-free gum works really, really good for that as well. Let's see. Anybody else with tips? Sarah Jane's Journey says, "I've realized it's okay to cry and have real feelings instead of turning to food. You know you will survive." Yes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yes, it is true. It's okay to feel feelings. Shocking, I know. I know. Nobody tells you that, right? It is okay to feel feelings, to feel them, to be in them, and then to move on. And if you find you're dwelling in them, it's okay to use other things to get back out. So find your comfort measures. I know I talked about that on another Tammy's Tidbits, I think. Find your comfort measures, the things that help you feel good that aren't food related, and have a list of them. That way, when you're in that dark place and you can't get out, you can look at your list and say, oh yeah, I really like talking to a friend. Maybe I better call so-and-so. Or, oh yeah, I really like taking a bath. Maybe I better do that. Or, oh yeah, I should write out how I'm feeling. Just write and write and write and write, and then burn it. Burning things is really nice. I like burning things. Who doesn't love that? It's nice to write down all those negative feelings and get them all out, and then just up in smoke. That's a fun one. So write down the ones that really help you and force yourself to do them, even if you don't want to. Because depression is an ugly thing. And of course, if you cannot get out, see a doctor, look at medication, do what you need to do to overcome without self-medicating with alcohol or food. All right, let's see. Lisa's Sum says she resets by putting food on pause. She fasts for a few hours, and then since she's done so well fasting, it kind of redetermines her to go back to eating clean again. That's a great suggestion. It's a great suggestion, definitely. Just don't eat. Don't eat. If you're feeling like you can't eat safely, put some time in. Let some time get between you and that feeling right now to the feeling in the future where you're going to be a lot more successful. That's a great tip. PJ says, for me, keto's a health journey. I keep my health goals in mind. Having a stroke runs in her family, so keto is a commitment to avoiding that. I love it. That's scary. Sometimes a scary motivator is just as good as a positive motivator. The thought of getting back to 374 pounds literally petrifies me. It is a huge motivator for me. I have to admit, I do let fear guide me in that one respect, because it was pretty awful losing a lot of weight and then gaining it all back, plus a lot, to the point where I couldn't even walk. It was scary. It was one of the scariest things I've been through, and so that is a huge motivator for me. Let's see. Sarah Jane says it's good to have a list of non-scale victories to accomplish. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. You could even put it on your vision board or put it up in your bathroom somewhere where you can see it all the time. So, for example, a non-scale victory for me would be to be able to walk up the stairs without huffing and puffing. I remember the day that happened, I was so excited that I walked up to the top of the stairs and wasn't like feeling like I was going to have a heart attack. Now I can run up and down them a few dang times, probably a lot. I haven't tried. So put a list of goals of things that you like to have, or a goal size, or things that aren't pounds related. It's always best to have goals that are not, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by such and such a date, because those can be very frustrating if you can't meet them and you don't really know what your body is going to do. And so setting a pounds goal is unrealistic. Whereas you can say that I really want to work hard at staying on my keto plan for 30 days. You know, like the action goals are really, really good. But yeah, writing down a list of non-scale victories you want to accomplish and then checking them off as you go without a set time is a really, really good one to keep you focused. I love that. Great idea. Let's see. Health advantages. Lisa says health advantages really help overcome the quick fix of immediate gratification of bad food. Choose your life over food. Yeah, you are more important than food. And really, the food is not giving you anything. It's masking things. So if you feel like you are being controlled by your food, that's number one to get out of there. Get out of that mindset. Keto is brutal, because when your body's not screaming at you, like a Keto Christina talks about all the time, the carb toddler isn't screaming at you because it's not begging you for glycogen. You have so much more control, and you can consciously choose to do things more easily. So once you can get into that keto zone, get in the ketosis and feel that calming thing, you can really, really choose a lot easier. You can make better choices about what you're eating or what you're planning to do. So even if you decide you're going to have a time off plan, it's a lot easier to choose it because you can make a plan. You're like, okay, so tomorrow is such and such, day. It's my anniversary. I really love having this cheesecake at this place. So I'm going to go. We're going to load up on protein. I'm not going to have the potato or the bread. I am just going to choose to have a piece of the cheesecake at the end of my meal. And then tomorrow I'm going to go back to doing what I'm planning to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. Schedule your food in advance if you need to. Pre-plan so that you have a plan. If you can use your consciousness to choose things rather than just letting things happen willy-nilly, you're going to be a lot more successful. All right, well, so that's all my tips for staying motivated. I'm proud of all of you guys for making it this far. 3 weeks is not easy, especially in January. And I have to tell you guys, I'm feeling so much better. I know that you probably don't think so after watching the Tammy's Tidbits this morning. That was a couple weeks ago, the beginning of that video when I was struggling so badly. Things are improving for me. I'm feeling a lot better. The last ballet class that I showed in there, I worked a lot harder and I felt like I actually got something out of it and I wasn't just kind of lazily going through. I actually pushed myself. I actually felt like it was exercise for the first time since I started taking the class. So usually I would feel like it was just, I wasn't getting much out of it. And so, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't really exercise. I know Lisa was like, don't complain about, say you're doing no exercise. Those classes are a big deal. Well, they are if you actually put some effort in. If you're not really putting the effort in and you're just kind of going through the motions, it doesn't really feel like you did much. But I was actually sore the next day after that ballet class. So, plus she made us do push-ups, which is mortifying and embarrassing, which I cannot do. And I've been trying all week to get more, but it's hard. I don't know what it is about those muscles across here. I've never built those. I have lots of hauling kid muscles, but push-up muscles, I've never really had to use them. And so I've never really gotten those. And I'm kind of working on those a little bit. And that's one of my, new motivators is I'm trying to do more things with my body. I want to be able to do 3 or 4 push-ups without falling and actually look like not an idiot, that kind of thing. Some of my other goals, basically with ballet, I just want to get to the point where I don't fall. It would be nice if I could get my feet under me and not fall on my butt all the time. In that video, you'll see I fall really badly. Virginia was standing in front of the camera, though, so you can't really see how badly I hit, but I actually landed full on my left knee, full force. But you know what? I got right back up, and I did pirouettes on the other side. I wasn't going to let my fear of falling get in my way, and so I just got right back up and did it again. And ironically, I didn't have any pain the next day on my knee. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of in shock. I was like, wow. I'll tell you what, being able to fall and not break everything in your body is one of my most unexpected and most loved things about losing weight. Because I remember being so afraid of falling when I was so big. Because if you fell when you were 374 pounds, you break stuff. Things are broken. You cannot walk. It's bad stuff. But I fall all the time now. I have fallen now 4 times in the last 2 months. It's kind of embarrassing. I've never fallen so much in my whole life. I'm becoming really pro at it. But yeah, so being able to do some pirouettes without falling would probably be a goal for me in that class. So try and find some new health goals. If like to the point where I am, I don't really have any like size goals at this point or weight loss goals at this point. I would love to hit 200 pounds lost. But if I don't, I'm not going to stress over that. Like, I don't care how long it takes because I'm really enjoying where I'm at. And I don't mind if it's taking a lot longer this time. Does that make sense at all? All right. I see I missed a super chat. Good question. Gloria. Okay, so Gloria asks, thanks for the super chat. I love you. Not to be nosy. I love nosy questions. Nosy questions are the best. But do you know where your depression comes from? Nutrition, life circumstances, or hormonal imbalance? That is such a good question. Do I know where it comes from? Yes, I do. It's genetic. So my brothers are way worse than me. I have multiple brothers who suffer from severe anxiety that's debilitating. I have a brother who actually has been an alcoholic for most of his life since he was a teenager because of his anxiety, and he is currently battling that war, which I don't wish on anybody. But it is rough. My father suffers from depression. It kind of goes back into family history. And Lucky us, me and my lovely siblings, it turns out that my parents found out after they were married that they are fourth cousins. So we come by it honestly on both family lines, which probably did not help. It's a reason that I watch it so closely with my kids. But you know what? As a kid, I didn't know I had it. In fact, I did not admit to myself that I have depression until Oliver was diagnosed. And let's see, he was 13. So that was almost 4 years ago. So up until 4 years ago, so when I was 40, I didn't know that's what I had. I didn't know that's why I was a crazy person. So it's kind of funny. I have not actually been diagnosed. Whenever I go to the doctor and kind of talk about it, nobody's really like said, you have depression, because I think I don't know that I've been that honest maybe about how I feel. And I haven't gone to the doctor when I was in a super low stage. I do not think I have bipolar or anything like that. It's just really, there are times when I struggle, and dietary, I think, was a lot of it, because when I went on keto, it really helped my mood to level off and to like not have so many ups and downs. And it's embarrassing when I look back because of how many times I was up all night long crying at Dave for whatever stupid thing he did that ticked me off. And he just took it. He just sat there and took it because he's amazing. And I look back now and I think, oh my gosh, why didn't he have me committed these millions of times where I couldn't get out of bed because he loves me too much and he would just bring me treats. That was his love language, is gifts and trying to make me feel better by bringing me things. And so he was the worst enabler, because he'd bring me, oh man, I remember, gosh, I don't remember, I was pregnant with one of my kids and my thing was Rolos and pretzels, and he brought me, literally ate a big bag of Rolos and a big bag of pretzels every day. Every day he brought me that and a Coke. It's literally a miracle that I lived with how much I ate. Hang on just a second. I've got a toddler. Yes, dear. Jasper? What? Okay, can you please ask Oliver or Virginia, because I'm doing my live chat and I can't help you right now. I'm on the internet right now. I love you. Oh, he says, he's crying and he goes, I love you too, Mom. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. He's such a cutie. Wants a drink of water. He must not be able to get a hold of a cup. He can get his own out of the fridge if he can get a hold of a cup, but everyone tends to ignore the little one when they're asking for things. You know how they do, those older siblings. They don't always pay attention. So anyway, that is all I can say about depression. I have not officially been diagnosed. Could be hormonal. I know a lot of it is food, but it's really just genetic. And so I watch my kids like a hawk, and some of my kids have struggled with it. And there you go. I hope that answers the question well. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to go all the way back up, you guys, and see if there's anything I need to address from what you were talking about during my first talk. So let's see, mostly hellos. I think I saw those. I have a thyroid problem, so it's hard to lose weight. This past week, I lost 7 pounds. I'm excited. Congratulations, Tina Mensch. That's awesome. Yes, thyroid can be an issue. Thyroid, PCOS, those kind of things can make it more slow going, but keto does still work. So you just have to have a lot more patience and a lot more focus on the goal. So yeah, that's tough, and I'm so happy for you. I know that feeling. Feels so, so great. All right, let's see. Everyone's listening. Teresa, why are you staying off Facebook and Instagram? I must have missed that. Keto Fat Girl No More, Teresa says she's staying off Facebook and Instagram has been hard. Does that mean that you're doing that to try and help stay motivated, or is that like a New Year's? Oh, I bet that's a New Year's resolution that you're trying to do, that you're trying to spend more time off of social media. I'm never making that resolution. Good on you, girly. Good on you. Even our prophet from our church came out and asked us to take a 10-day fast from social media, and I did not. I did not choose to do that. Hopefully the Lord will forgive me, but that's just not. I can't leave you guys hanging that long. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. That's Niquina. I keep telling her she needs a YouTube channel. Let's see. So you guys have been helping Sarah. I can see that. So Sarah Jane's Journey said she just started. Don't miss joining the Facebook, Sarah, if you're not already on there, because I have a get started guide that you can just download, and it'll give you all the tips you need to get started and the macros and everything. It's really easily laid out in the simplest terms possible. If you're not on Facebook, you can send me an email, ketochaos@gmail.com, and I will send that right away to you. I have it saved on my phone, so I usually just respond as soon as I can and send that over to whoever needs it. And it's free, so just send me an email if you can't get to Facebook. Hey, Saved by Grace and Keto is here. Welcome. Hey, PhD Natural Me is here. I'm glad you are here. That's amazing. Sarah Jane says she's new here. Well, good, Sarah. Then you're probably not on the Facebook, so I definitely suggest joining Facebook Keto Chaos. The link's in all my videos, like in the description. There's links to all of that stuff. Let's see. Just Keto Jen says she had a moment today where she wanted to run out and get a high sugary food but didn't, and it felt so good not to give in. Yes, it does. It feels very powerful when you have control over your food, when you don't let the food control you. It's a really amazing feeling. I like that feeling more than the feeling that I get from eating a sugary food. I am enjoying the control. I never knew I was such a control freak, but I really am. I really am. And I have realized a lot of my triggers, my anxiety and depression triggers, are when I feel out of control. So keto has helped that way too, because I feel like I can choose when I eat and when I don't eat. And so that makes me feel in control of what I'm eating, and it brings my anxiety level way down. Way, way, way down. All right. Does my weight fluctuate a lot on keto? I bet you guys already answered that question for her. Yes, it does. It does a lot. Not everyone's does, but mine does. I have 2 weeks where I lose and 2 weeks where I gain. And it just, like, it seems like it goes along. I gain when I'm ovulating. It's opposite from everybody else. It's like, so it's mid-cycle rather than at my lady time. But yeah, it happens every single time. And so I never know for sure how much I've lost until I get to that last weigh-in for that 4 weeks. And that's the one that I really go by. So if it's gone by 4 weeks and I've only lost 2 pounds, I can make the judgment of whether I want to lower my fat macro or track more carefully, or make sure I'm not kicking myself out of ketosis with Think Thin bars and things like that. That's which I tend to do when I'm doing lazy keto. I tend to eat stuff like that kicks me. I really think it kicks me out of ketosis based on how I feel. But it doesn't really waylay my progress. It's a choice. I choose to do that. So I can do that. And so coming up the next 2 weeks should be, and I mean should be, my lose weeks. And so when I get to that second one, that's how I'll know how well I did on my fat loss macros now that I'm back on them. I'm hoping for a 5-pound loss, but we'll see. So a 5-pound loss would put me at 180, I believe, 180 at my low. So if I could hit that in 2 weeks, I'd be pretty thrilled. If I don't, well, at this point, I'm so close to my goal. It's like, I don't really know, because I'm not as much of a deficit. So now I'm eating a 500 or 600 calorie deficit, whereas before I was probably eating, 1,000 calorie deficit, the same macros. So I obviously don't expect it to happen as quickly as it did at the beginning. So I'm just hoping for whatever I can get at this point. Does that even make sense? I said that again. All right. Oh, yes. I see a lot of newer people. This is from Just Keto Jen. I see a lot of newer people to keto who lose a lot the first week because of water weight dropping. Then it drops off after that, and they're ready to give up right away. They think they're doing something wrong. Yep. I try really hard to make sure people know that keto is diuretic and it's anti-inflammatory. And so that first week, you are going to lose a killer amount of weight. That doesn't mean you're going to lose a killer amount of weight every single week. And it also doesn't mean you're never going to retain water again. So you really have to stick out the long term to see if it's going to work. At least 8 weeks, guys. Give it at least 8 weeks and see where you're at from the beginning to the end of the 8 weeks. Then make a decision on whether or not you need to change something. But if you're doing the higher fat keto, you can always switch to doing it the way I do it. If you're new to keto, which Sarah apparently is, I don't do things the same way that other people are doing it. I don't do the 75%, 20%, 5%. What I do is macro-based, and my proteins are higher grams than my fats. And so my percentages end up being more, well, I think it's 55 fat, 39 protein, 6 carbs if I ate them perfectly, which I don't ever eat them perfectly because who can? But they're my guideline. They're my guideline. And that encourages a lot more fat loss around my body because I'm eating less dietary fat and I'm eating more protein, so I feel satiated from the protein rather than the fat. I hope that explained that a little bit. But if you want to learn more about it, definitely join the Facebook group because we have an awesome group of people over there who answer the best questions. I have some rockin' moderators who are doing their job even when I can't be there. They're answering the questions, and all the information's in the pinned post, and it's super easy to understand and read. So you can print it out and just put it in your purse so you can refer back to it anytime. It has a shopping list. It's really great, actually. Really, really great. And it's free. Gotta love free, right? All right. I think I got through all of the ones at the beginning. And now I'm going to see at the ones at the end. Tuckered Mom says that water weight gain out of nowhere still gets to me. Gained 4 pounds in 3 days. I feel like it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back sometimes. Yep, me too. And that's why I say the scale lies. It does lie. You cannot go on that daily number and judge what you did yesterday based on what the scale said today. First of all, the scale, I'm pretty sure, is a couple days behind. So what you did today isn't going to show up on the scale for a couple of more days. Plus, I gained 4 pounds in less than 3 days this week as well. I went up from 183 to 187, 187 and a half actually. Went back down to 186. Yesterday I was 184.6. Today I'm back up to 186. It is what it is. I try not to let it get to me. And if it is getting to you, pick the lowest, like do 4 weeks. See what your lowest weight was that 4 weeks. Pick that day and weigh every 4 weeks only. It's just not worth it if it's going to waylay you or make you feel crappy. Do it that way. It's probably the easiest way to really determine if you do it in the same time every 4 weeks without having any food in your stomach in the morning before you eat anything or drink anything. So you can get a really good number, really good handle on it. Then you can know for sure where you're at. So me, I don't take anything in the middle of the month into account until I get to that 4 weeks and I go, okay, this is how much I lost in the last 4 weeks. Did I like that? Did I not like that? What do I need to adjust? And I don't usually adjust things. If I'm doing my fat loss macros, I pretty much just stick to those. I don't mess around. If I'm doing lazy keto, I do adjust based on that. So if I didn't want to lose for the 4 weeks, I'll raise my fats even more. Or if I did want to lose, where I wanted to lose a little bit more, I will track it a little better. And I just kind of decide every 4 weeks if I want to change things or if I want to keep doing what I'm doing. So sometimes life is too stressful and I can't deal with tracking stuff. And so I just try and do a lazy keto the best I can and track in my mind the carbs. And that's probably why I am riding on the edge of ketosis a lot of the time, because I don't always track perfectly when I'm doing that. But tracking is the best way to do it. It'll make you feel the best because if you know you did it right, you just can wait it out. So there you go. Let's see. So Christina Collins says, I set my goal low, 2 pounds a month, 60 pounds a year. So when I get discouraged, I remind myself how far I've come and most likely I've already met my goal or passed it for the month, so I keep going. That's a good idea too. So if you really need to have a pounds goal in mind, don't be unrealistic. When I first started keto, I weighed 374 pounds and I was losing 12 to 15 pounds a month, and I could just count on it every 4 weeks. And I had a different pattern back then. And I didn't really put on a lot of water weight. My pattern would be drop 2 weeks, hold. Drop 2 weeks, hold. Thank goodness when I first started, I never really went up a lot. Maybe that would have freaked me out. It actually didn't start going up a lot until I'd lost 100 pounds. And then that's when the water gain loss thing kind of came into play. It was about when I started YouTube that started happening. So, hey, Kindred Echo, welcome. Let's see. Saved by Grace and Keto says she's having a hard time with nighttime snacking. Oh, that one is the worst, especially if you were like me and Chef Dave. We used to sit down and watch TV together and munch on popcorn every flippity flap at night. every night. And that was Dave's hardest and one of my hardest things to give up. When we first did this, like the first time we did losing weight, we would make like a protein shake and freeze it, and we would have like an protein shake ice cream before we went to bed, and the protein seemed to like help with the munchies and stuff like that. Sometimes I will just chew gum before bed, but I have found that instead of sitting and watching TV, I just can't. I have to do something else. Or if I'm sitting watching TV, I play Candy Crush while I'm watching it. Keep my hands busy, 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 busy. So it's just a mind game. It's just a mind game. If you absolutely cannot deal, get some pickles, some celery, cucumbers, things that are like basically zero because they take so much effort to eat them, and munch on that because they can be crunchy and stuff. Do not get in the habit of munching on fat before bed. Don't do it. It's just not the best choice. If you really need food, I would go for a high protein, low fat snack like Sludge. And Sludge is, you can look up Sludge on the internet. It's something that they do when they're doing a protein sparing modified fast, but it's where you take protein powder and you mix it with like casein, or like there's some things you can mix it with to make it kind of smooth, and you eat it like a little protein bomb. So if you're really looking, try and stick to foods that aren't going to waylay you. You don't want to like pound on the fat and shoot your fat macro. Or you can eat really low protein and save your fats for right before bed. I mean, there's ways you can do it if you really feel like it's going to waylay you. Sugar-free Jell-O is a great one. That's one I used. It gives you that sweet flavor. It's not really protein. It's not really fat. It's just kind of zero nothings. So that one's a good one if it doesn't cause cravings. Though if you eat it and you find yourself craving Jell-O all the day, every day, then it's probably not the best choice. Maybe if you use Jell-O Brown, it's aspartame sweetener. If you use Snap Pack Brown, it's sucralose. Maybe one of those sweeteners is not great for you, and you might want to look at elsewhere. When I first did it, I didn't do any artificial sweeteners for at least 6 months. Just stevia. I did just stevia forever. And then I started adding in the Mio drops, which are sucralose, and the sugar-free Jell-O, which just kind of was one of those things that just make me feel like I was cheating and doing a treat, and I wasn't really, because it's basically a zero nothing. It doesn't give you anything. It has no nutritional value whatsoever. So that's a good one. All right, let's see. Lisa wants to know if Gloria S. is independently wealthy. Lisa, you're so funny. Lisa and Gloria and Terry Deshawn, I have a few people that just make me so thrilled, but Gloria and Terry are my like financial rah-rah supporters, and Lisa is my spirit booster. I think she goes out of her way to try and make me feel good about myself, and it works. It works. I appreciate all of those gifts. So I love everybody's gifts. I love when you guys comment and ask me questions. Always makes me happy. And when you boost me up, it always makes me feel better. You know, like YouTube's a great place for building up your self-confidence if you didn't have any. Because most people are nice. Like, I know that a lot of places on YouTube and just like articles on Facebook, the comments section can be brutal. But I don't know what it is about my subscribers. I have almost 10,000 subscribers, and I can count on one hand the negative comments I've had. Truly. You guys are all so fantastic. It has made it a lot easier to do YouTube. If I had to constantly fight my depression because of negative comments, it would be a lot harder. It would be a lot harder to keep going. So there you go. What triggers my depression? Right now, the weather is triggering. We have really bad air quality here. We get smog that kind of gets trapped in the valley because of the mountains. The air at the top of the mountain will get really, really hot, while the air down by us gets really, really cold, and it creates this like vacuum that sucks all of the pollution into the valley, and you can't see, and there's no sun, and you feel dirty and gross, and it causes asthma. It is bad. This year it hasn't been as bad, believe it or not, because we've had a lot more snow, and snow will kind of like pull it out of the air. The wind will blow it through. We just kind of need to turn on a fan and like blow it through, and then it kind of goes away. And this year has been better, but the weather in January really triggers me. Dealing with hard things with my kids really triggers me. Anytime one of my kids has a problem, or like for instance, a couple weeks ago, my 13-year-old was talking like maybe he was suicidal. He didn't really say that, but he was basically saying the trigger words, nobody loves me, I don't fit here, those kind of things. That really triggered me. That was part of my problem in the video where I was crying in the car. Because when I'm dealing with depression, it's really hard for me to like say the right things, and I feel like I screw it up. And like if he killed himself, like I would like blame myself, and that would be horrible because it wouldn't be my fault, even though it kind of would be because, yeah. Anyway, all that. Lots of things trigger it. Negative comments on my YouTube channel can trigger it. People saying negative things to me, or getting in a fight with someone, or me being overprotective and people criticizing me, because I tend to do that with my kids. Like there's lots of things that'll trigger it, but usually it isn't as bad. If it used to be, if Dave did anything, if Dave even looked at me sideways, I would trigger it. Not anymore, thank the Lord. Poor Dave. What a saint. He is a saint, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Keto's good for mental health and clarity. Yes, it is. Lisa says we're married to the same awesome guy that loves to enable us. Thankfully, if I am on keto, he's on keto. And if I'm off, he's not. He's also off. Like whatever I do is what he does. And so that gives me a lot of like pressure to stay on, because I feel like I went off for my pregnancies and so did he. So I gained all the weight back. So did he. That kind of thing. If you have the MTHFR polymorphism, you will be more susceptible to depression. And yes, I have not actually been tested for that. I don't know if I do. I don't think so, but there's no way to know unless I actually test it, which I have not done. At least not that I'm aware of. Tiffany Fader, welcome. Good to see you here. I do take B vitamins. So she says that you need more B6, B9, B12. I do take them in the ritual vitamins. I don't know if they're in that form. Also, there's D3 in there. Really bumping up my D3 helped. I didn't think it would, because I've been taking so much D3 over the last couple of years. Year and a half, I've been taking ritual vitamins, which have 2,000 IUs. And I've been taking it so regularly, I thought maybe I wouldn't need extra, but that is not true. Apparently, I did need extra. I started taking my old, well, not old, but the other brand that I used to take, and taking 30,000 extra IUs, and that has really helped. So I'm going to continue doing that throughout February at least, and then I'll start to taper off of the D3, because I think that's really, really helping me. It seems like it is anyway. Are Quest bars okay for a meal replacement? No. There are a million reasons why not. The number one is because Quest bars are candy bars in disguise, and you want to kick the candy bar craving. Are they okay if you are desperate and you have to buy food at the gas station and all they have is peanuts and a Quest bar and it's just a one-time thing? Yes. Do you want to do it on the daily? Definitely no. They're just not that amazing. They're not that amazing. And they are very addicting. My sister really struggles with the Quest bar addiction. And she's like, it's just like having a candy bar, and that doesn't help me. That doesn't help me to kick my cravings, to kick my food addiction. It just keeps it in front of me all the time. So if it's not causing cravings and you don't feel like you have to have them every day, are they okay on occasion? Yes. Should they be your main staple for your life? No. No, they should not. They're frankenfoods. They're not real food. Get your proteins from foods and your fats from foods as much as you possibly can. Don't drink your fats if you can help it. Avoid doing bulletproof things. It's just not worth it to drink those calories. Get your fats from yummy, fatty meats. Use those good foods that the Lord provided, like avocados and things like that, coconut, things that have fats in them if you're needing to up your fat macro. Even heavy whipping cream is great, but eat it. Put it in a sauce. Whip it up and eat it with a spoon. Don't drink it, because you don't pay attention to those fat calories that you drink as much as the ones you actually eat with a fork or a spoon. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, James. I didn't realize you were here. Welcome, James777KO. It is good to see you. Let's see. Great job, Debbie. 53 pounds since July. Woohoo! Awesome. That is awesome. Another tip is eat some rock salt, and it's very satisfying. And the reason that it is because usually if you're hungry on keto, your body is begging you for sodium because your sodium is low. So if you're hungry or thirsty, your number one go-to should always be a salt form. I use Soleil water, everyone knows, but if you're new here, you may not know. You can see all the salt crusted on the outside of my bottle. But there is a video on how to make Soleil water. It's spelled S-O-L-E. You can look, and my electrolytes videos should have links to that. If you look in the Keto for Beginners playlist, there's an electrolytes and why it talks why you need a salt. This is salt water, basically. Super concentrated salt water. And it's a way to get my sodium in, but you can eat salt, definitely. The crunch of rock salt is nice. I can't do it because my teeth are so sensitive, which is why I have braces, because I'm trying to realign them so that they don't hurt so badly when I all the time, because I do that. Anyway, that's why I can't eat rock salt, but you can. It's best if you weigh it out and track it so that you know how much you consumed, so that you know you had enough or too little. Err on the side of too much. If you're going to do, it's better to have too much sodium than too little when you're on keto, because your body's constantly flushing it out and you need it. If you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling headachy, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling low energy, muscle cramping, nauseous, dizzy. Oh, I said dizzy already. Unable to speak. Things like that. If you're feeling any of those feelings, it's because you're low on sodium. Pound it. If you're low and you're having those feelings, you may retain water for a week when you go back on salt. But that's why. So it's another way to distract yourself from those hungry feelings and cravings. That's why I always say eat a pickle, because it has sodium in it and also makes you feel like you're eating it. Same thing with the rock salt. You're just getting sodium in. But yeah, sodium, stay on top of it. It'll make you feel better. Okay, Meg's Blue. I'm having trouble with portions. I find I'm not eating as much as I used to, which is awesome, but then it will make my plate too big and I don't want to waste it because I've already accounted for it. If you're going by the macros chart and you're dividing your meals up into 2 and they're too big, you're going to have to do 3 meals. I think that's the best way. Either that, or you're going to have to swap out some of your protein for a shake powder, like Quest shake powder or something like that, until your body starts to crave eating that higher protein amount. It's better to get it in with a protein shake than it is to not get it in at all. And if you're doing OMAD, it makes it even harder. So divide your meals up into 3. If you have already done that, then try using protein powder for some of your protein. So if you had a hard time doing it today, tomorrow change that in your tracker. I know what you mean, because I eat it. I don't waste it. I force myself to eat it. People say that I'm wrong to do that, but there's no way any of my food is going to waste. It's too expensive. I know exactly what my body needs, and so I'm telling my body what it needs. I still don't trust myself to eat fat to satiety. I am too much of a binge eater. I will binge eat the fats. So I like to stick to my macros, even if I'm on a maintenance day, which I talked about in that Tammy's Tidbits this morning. If I'm doing a maintenance day, I like to still track and make sure I'm keeping my fats in check, because I could eat 4,000 and 5,000 calories in fat if I just sat down and started eating macadamia nuts, or if I sat down and started eating pork rinds, I wouldn't be able to stop. I like having the macros to tell me what I need and what I don't need. And so, yeah, sometimes I have to eat food I don't want to eat, especially if it tastes nasty. I still eat it. Sometimes my eggs taste nasty. I still eat them. Sometimes the chicken tastes nasty. Still eat it. Every time. Sometimes I get really, really full. Still eat it. I'm not an intuitive eater. And if that's what you're looking for here, you're not going to find it. I am telling my body what it needs, and it's listening to me now. I'm in control of it. It doesn't control me anymore because I don't trust it, because it got me to 374 pounds. I don't trust my body. I trust me and my knowledge that the things I've learned about keto and the things I've learned that worked for me. So I don't know. I hope that helps. I mean, you can do even more meals than 3, but 3 is really the max that I would personally do, just because you need to have your meals 3 hours apart. And if you want to have it in that intermittent fasting window, that makes it even more complicated. So if you're eating at noon and you're eating at 3 and you're eating at 7, that's 3 meals. And you can still keep it in that IF window if that's your goal for autophagy and all that. I don't do intermittent fasting for autophagy. I do it for convenience sake. I don't want to have to think about food except for twice a day. So I don't always get it in my window because I don't pay attention what the window is most of the time. I just eat 2 meals when I'm ready to eat them. Hey, Rosalba Zunica Escalante, good to see you. Let's see. If you do a Quest bar in a pinch twice a week, it's not going to kill you, but it's not going to kill your craving for chocolate. Kindred Echo, thank you for the compliment. Megs Blue, also thank you. All right. Oh, good question. Saved by Grace and Keto, thanks for the tips. On that note, what do you think about a PSMF diet if stalling on keto, maybe readjusting macros? I have no inherent problem with protein-sparing modified fast in the theory of it. The thing I hate about it, okay, this is the thing I hate about it. I have not actually done it. I kind of pretended to do it myself once. I didn't lose any more weight than I do on this higher protein keto that I'm already doing. That's number 1. Number 2, it sucked, holy ball. I shouldn't say that. It sucked a lot. I hated it. It was nasty. Not kidding. It's gross. It doesn't taste good at all, and it's hard to do. I was really cranky. I was really mean, and I didn't like me that way. So I couldn't do that for that reason. Okay, I should probably not say the thing I hate the most about it, but I'm going to. The thing I hate the most about it is that he doesn't teach it for free. There you go. You have to buy the stupid book. And if you go on the PSMF Facebook page and you ask any frickety frackin' question, and I mean any question at all, the only answer you will receive is, did you read the book? Did you buy the book? It says it in the book. I hate that. Hate it with a passion. And that is the reason I won't support or suggest to do it, because he's not nice. That's the word I will say. You basically, and there's other things I don't like about it. You have to do carb refeeds, and there's like all of these other things that are dumb that I don't agree with. Do I think going really high on protein and really low on fat for a week is going to hurt you and it could kick you out of a stall? Sure, go for it. But personally, the whole doing the actual PSMF program, I'm not a fan of it because of those reasons. So, but yeah, I've done that. You can, what I suggest if you're in a stall, and I mean if you're already on the macros I use, which are higher in protein than regular keto, I lower my fats by 10 for 5 days, and then I do a super high fat day like I talked about in the video this morning in the Tammy's Tidbits. That's at the very end of the video, so if you want to fast forward to the end, but that's the very last clips in the video is I talk about that, the last 4 clips, I think. You can do it that way, and that'll kick you out of a stall just fine. You don't need to go 25 fat or lower. Your body needs 50 at least for you to not be a B word. And that's the honest truth. You need enough for your hormones to be balanced and your brain to work just nicely and have access to ready fuel. So if you go any lower than 50, you get really, really cranky and not nice. And if you don't have kids, I guess that doesn't matter, but my kids prefer me to be nice. So there you go. Yes and no, it can get you out of a stall, but so can lowering your fat grams only 10. I say if you're doing the high fat keto, stop now and don't do it. Go do mine. But high fat ketoers will not going to believe me. I did a video about that recently too. So, and people argued with me. I did get a negative comment on there where someone told me that I wasn't a doctor and I talk like I am and where's my research and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, actually, here's my research. And I never said I was a doctor. So there you go. I'm a mom. I've always said that. All I'm doing is reading stuff, telling you what I said. Yeah. Oh, go to bed instead of snacking. Good idea. I have a hard time sleeping until pretty late at night, but that's a good suggestion, Lisa. Let's see. When do you start seeing physical changes from keto? It's only been since January 1st. I feel fantastic. I'm down from 255 to 239, but I see no changes. Have you done any measurements? I highly recommend measuring every week and writing that down and keeping track of that because that's more accurate. I found that every time I lost about an inch off of my body, it meant about a pound of fat that I burned once the scale caught up to the inches. The inches always went first. So I suggest doing pictures. I do pictures every 4 weeks. And I measure myself every Sunday, and I weigh myself every Sunday. Well, I weigh myself every day, but I count it every Sunday. And so that keeps things like in check that way. I would say I was 374 pounds, and I think I had to lose a good 80 pounds before I really started seeing any change to myself. 100 pounds, I started to see it, and I started to feel like I looked good. But when I look back at those videos that I made 100 pounds down, I'm shocked at how big I am. And it's crazy that I had already lost 100 pounds. I really wish I'd started the videos earlier. I would really like to have videos of that and know what I looked like, because I only had the pictures that I did. And all I did was take pictures in a big old dress. If you've seen my slideshow. Yeah, so I do pictures every 4 weeks for that reason, so you can see it. Because when you can put a picture right next to each other, you can really see the difference a lot easier. I think it took at least 50 pounds before anyone even noticed that I was losing weight, but I was really, really big. I'd say when you get closer to 200 pounds, you're going to start noticing it. When you get into Wonderland, you'll really start noticing it. When I hit the 190s, I was like, whoa, I look good, and I was happy there. So it took till about there for me to get really happy with how I looked, and I'm still really happy with how I look, even though I have my little belly, as you probably saw in the video this morning, if you had a chance to watch it. Okay, when am I going for the DEXA scan? I don't know. I was just thinking about that this morning. I'm like, dang it, I really need to make the appointment. I'm just uber busy, but if I don't get it done by the end of February, I'm going to be kicking myself. So by the end of February is my goal to get the DEXA scan done. I don't know when it will be, but that's my goal. I like your glasses, they boss. Thank you for not saying they're too big for my face now, because that's what people think now. I like them so much, and it's almost time for me to get new. I've had these for 2 years, and I'm about ready to get new, and I'm so afraid I won't be able to find one I like, because I love these so much. Let's see. Meg says, I really like 86% dark chocolate. It gives me the chocolate fix, has maybe 2 or 3 net carbs. That's true, but you can get Lily Brands, which has less and tastes more chocolatey because it's stevia erythritol sweetened. If I eat chocolate, I eat Lily. It's the best, but I don't eat it very often. Let's see. Oh, Lisa, I can't read that out loud without crying, but thank you. You're so sweet. Lady B says, carb ups scare me, but I've been seeing a bigger push for carb ups in the week before your cycle in perimenopausal women to help with hormones and mood. You can just do the same thing with fats. You don't need to do a carb up. It's too risky. Don't risk it. And if you're a food addict like me, you don't ever want to eat it again. Trust me, I've done it. I started with just green smoothies, and it was all downhill from there. Don't do it. I thought, oh, I'm eating healthy. I'm eating green smoothies. It ended up with donuts and Coke every day. I had no control. I have no control. When the carb toddlers start screaming, I listen. It's bad. So if you're having trouble the week before your cycle, eat more fat. Don't eat more carbs if you can help it. Go for fats. You can make really yummy fat stuff. I just don't see the need for carbs. When you can take heavy whipping cream, cream cheese, and sugar-free Jell-O and whip it up and fold in some drained cottage cheese, and it tastes like a good full-on Jell-O salad that you had at your ward picnic. Sorry, that's my church in me coming out. We call them wards. Your church picnic. Who needs regular? I don't. There's plenty of treats, and that's why I like doing this higher protein, lower fat way, because then when I have the treats, I don't feel like I need them every day, or I don't need a huge amount of them to make them feel like a treat. When I've been eating moderate fat for so long, and I go and have a treat day, then it feels like a treat day, even though I don't get kicked out of ketosis, because I had keto cream cheese something or other. Keto cream, what am I saying? Cheesecake. Keto cheesecake, or a keto cookie, or like the Keto Cakes Utah cakes that I eat when I'm trying to do maintenance macros. Those ones are perfect because someone else made them. I didn't have to, but they don't ship. Sorry, guys. All right, Mrs. Dixon, you can do it. If you're going to do keto, definitely get on a Facebook page and get the macros chart and start off on the right foot, and don't neglect your electrolytes. Please don't neglect your electrolytes. I feel like I'm just constantly standing on my electrolyte soapbox, beating people in the head with sodium sticks, and they still come to me and say, I feel so sick. Why? If you feel sick, it's because you didn't eat enough sodium for the millionth, zillionth time. You know how people always say, like, coconut oil fixes everything and they make jokes about it? On keto, salt fixes everything. If you're having an issue, it's salt. Almost 100%. 99.99% of the time, it's your salt. It's too low. Even if you think you're getting enough, you're not. You're probably not. I eat a whole crap ton of salt. So much salt. Yeah. James, good point. It's like putting poison in your body every month or whatever. Yeah, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to see the scale go down. And really the only reason it's working is because it's getting your body to flush more water. It's not really making you lose weight. You can do the same thing by doing what I do, where I mess around with the fats. Do it lower for a few days and then do really high. It's the same kind of thing. It's throwing your metabolism for a loop, freaking your body out, and making it let go of the water weight that it was hanging onto. It is not actually making you lose fat. It's just silliness. Okay, let's see. When I was first, okay, Tiffany Fader says, when I was first researching keto a year or so ago, all I saw was focus on fat, fat, fat. I just didn't seem to make sense to me. One day I stumbled across your page and had a light bulb moment. Yes, it's true. Almost every single YouTube channel that's out there, except for mine, Keto Christina, Ali McWowie, and gosh, who was the other one I just saw recently? Oh, there was one more that I just saw recently. Advocate eating eating more protein grams and fewer fat grams to lose fat. And we're still eating a high-fat diet. That's the thing people don't understand. Like when Dr. Finney says it's high-fat, moderate protein, he isn't kidding. It really still is. It's adequate protein for what your body actually needs. And the fats amount is still coming from your body. You're still getting the 75% fat. You're only feeding it 55%, and it's getting the other 20 from your body fat store. You want it to get the other 20 from your body fat stores, don't you? The more fat you eat, the less you will burn from your body. That is just science. So I think Dr. Finney wasn't being very clear on what he was saying. And he still isn't very clear. And he talks very sciencey. So listening to him talk gets really, really dry and really, really difficult to understand. You have to really want it to be willing to listen to Dr. Finney or read his books. But he has been researching this and eating this way for 20 plus years. And he has the best, in my opinion, the best scientific team that are actually researching how to kill type 2 diabetes and how to get rid of fat on your body. Eating keto is great, and you will lose weight to a degree, but when you get to the point where your calorie number is the same as what you're burning sitting still, you're not going to lose weight anymore. That's just science. You do need a caloric deficit to lose weight. And it's easier to get a caloric deficit by raising your proteins a little bit, not too high. It's only a little bit. Nobody needs to panic over it. Raising your proteins up a little bit and dropping your fats. The proteins will keep your satiety high. The dropping your fat will make your body forced to burn off your body fat. It doesn't have a choice. That's the long and short of how it works. So that's why I advocate not adding extra fats. Get your fats from your food. Don't add a ton of fat. Now, if you're at 50 grams of fat at the end of the day and you're like, uh-oh, whoopsie, go make yourself some heavy whipping cream. Measure it. 5 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream is like 27 grams of fat. Whip it up with some stevia and eat it if you feel like you need it. If you don't feel like you need it, go till tomorrow and just do it tomorrow. It's, like with fats, as long as you're above 50, you're cool. I wouldn't go below 50, like I said before. Tiffany Fader is Cape Breton Keto. I hope I'm saying that wrong. Breton? Cape Breton? Kate Break, I have no idea. Keto on Instagram. So look her up. I follow her. All right. And also Team Kingsbury Keto. If you guys want to see someone messing around with carnivore on the road, she is very active on Instagram. Can I just say she posts every day, maybe more than once a day. She does lots of before and afters, lots of high protein meals. Nicole is awesome. Check her out. I am not as active on Instagram. I try, but I just forget. I'm so sorry, you guys. You can try eating just meat for 3 to 7 days and go back to regular keto. Yes, that's technically the same thing though. I mean, you're just lowering your carbs even more. I don't eat that many vegetables as it is. And I'm definitely not letting go of my dairy products, as we learned last January. That was a mistake. I did it in January too. What a big, huge mistake. I went off dairy products for a whole week and almost killed myself. Never doing that again. Also, if I skip 2 days without my yogurt, my stomach is a mess. I need it. Maybe I'm different than other people, but I have to have it every day. Other people don't, so. All right. I'm glad you found me too, Sarah Jane. Okay. Brush your teeth at 8 o'clock at night, because once you brush your teeth, you won't want to eat anything. That is a good suggestion. I don't think to do that, and I should do that. Keto Mama, how are you doing? Have you switched to the higher protein macros? Are you still doing the higher fat? I know I was watching and I saw that you were kind of leaning toward maybe doing the higher protein. So yeah, patience, my dear. When you watch this later, patience. Are fat bombs okay homemade? Fat bombs. If you want to lose body fat, no to fat bombs. I know you don't want to hear this stuff. People don't like it when I tell them their treats aren't okay. When I'm in fat loss mode, I don't do fat bombs. Unless, of course, I didn't track well and realize at the end of the day that I'm at 50 grams of fat, and then I'll do like a heavy whipping cream kind of fat bomb. So are they okay? Yes. If you're tracking them and they go along with your meals and you're not eating them as a treat. If you're eating them to get your fats. But it is better to get your fats in meats. So I get my fats from eggs. I get my fats from bacon. I get my fats from sirloin. I get my fats from chicken breast. So it's not a lot of fat, but I get some fat from that. I get fats from cheeses. I get fats from heavy whipping cream in sauces. If I'm making a gravy and I notice my fats are low, I will add a couple tablespoons of heavy whipping cream to the gravy. Makes it thicker and yummier. We'll make chicken soup and add heavy whipping cream to the soup. That's the only time I advocate drinking calories, is if it's in soup. It's in a food. That's kind of where my fats come from. I try really hard not to do fat bombs. When I'm done losing weight and I'm taking a break, so for example, like I did in my Tammy's Tidbits, a maintenance day, or like I did in the fall, where I'm having maintenance calories for a long period of time and I'm trying not to lose weight, then I will use a fat bomb. Those keto cupcakes that I eat, the Keto Cakes Utah cupcakes, are fat bombs, and that is what I'm eating them for. So I guess my answer is yes, fat bombs are great when you're in maintenance. But when you're wanting to lose fat from your body, if you eat a fat bomb, that's less fat you're burning from your body. So use it in moderation. Use it only when your fats are still low and moderate. Like my fats should be 78 or lower. I try and keep them between 67 and 70 and 80. 70 and 80 is my number that I try and keep it in on a daily basis. If I were to hit a stall, I would go down 60 to 70. But that sucks. I hate doing that. I like my food to taste good. Sorry, I just do. I mean, there's something about that, you know. It's nice to have food that tastes good. PSMF food tastes like crap. Literally. It's gross. Tuna fish without the mayo. Chicken breast without the sauce or cheese. Grody. Grody. What do I feel like about drinking Atkins shakes for a fast meal on the run? Not Atkins. Get a different brand. They suck. If you have to do a pre-made shake, go Premier. They have 2 net carbs and 30 grams of protein and very little fat. I think it's like 5 fat. Go Premier if you need one on the run. Shake powders that are 0 carb are the best. ISO Pure, ISO Pro, Quest. Read the backs. You want them to be 0 carbs. 0 if you can. Very low fats is also a good one, because then if you decide you need some fats, you really want to drink some, though I don't recommend it, you could blend them into the powder, but if it already has fat in the powder, you can't take it back out. So if you're going to do a shake, 0 carb is best. I don't recommend shakes unless you're having trouble getting your protein in. If you're on the go, plan ahead. Team Kingsbury Keto is the supreme queen of eating on the go because they are truckers and they are always on the go. They plan ahead. If I am personally on the go, I try really hard to plan ahead. I will take boiled eggs with me. I will take pre-cooked bacon with me. I will take a little container of my yogurt already pre-mixed up with me. I will take cheese. You can do ham and cheese roll-ups. You can do ham and cheese and cream cheese roll-ups. You can do ham and cheese and cream cheese and lettuce roll-ups. You can be really creative with things like that. You just have to plan ahead. You can have a pre-made salad in a little bowl with grilled chicken strips and dressing that's pre-measured out. The key is to plan ahead. Don't think on the fly. Don't get stuck like me, sometimes going to the gas station and eating a protein bar and peanuts as a meal. That's not a meal. That's not a meal. That's a treat. That's the treat. When I do that, it's when I'm in maintenance. I don't let myself do that when I'm trying to lose weight, because it just is going to waylay my progress. And then I can't go to the gas station without wanting to have peanuts on a protein bar, which is a huge problem that I have. So right now, I'm not even going to the gas station if I can help it because of that. Trying to stay away from the things that tempt me. So is it okay? Yeah, but it doesn't fill you up. Shakes don't fill you up. It's not as satiating. I don't recommend shakes if you can help it. The only time I really recommend shakes is if you're having trouble getting your protein in and you're eating in addition to chicken that you're eating on your plate. Okay. Guys, we're at an hour and 21. I'm going to have to be done soon. I'm going to scroll through. Dr. Barry is good. I'm so sad that I can't go to the April keto convention here because I am photographing a dance studio that day, both days, and he's there. He's going to be there, and so is Ask Nurse Cindy and a few other YouTubers. I'm so sad that I don't get to go meet them all. Breaking my heart. Breaking my heart. Oh, hold on. Oh, my heck. It's not letting me. Someone must have already reported that one. Okay, anyway, let's see. Over the weekend, I forgot to take my magnesium and Soli water and was absolutely miserable. Yep. Anytime you miss it, it's going to happen. Keto flu. Anytime. Keto flu is not something you get through. Keto flu is what happens to you every time your electrolytes are low. Every time. Still happens to me. Okay. What yogurt do I eat? 0% phage, Fage. It's my favorite because it's creamy. You can do any 0% Greek yogurt that is high in protein and low in fat. And I do that to raise up my proteins in my meal. So I'm getting my fats from the bacon and eggs and cheese. And then I'm getting a bulk of protein from the yogurt. And I only count half the carbs because Dr. Finney says that the cultures convert most of the carbs or some of the carbs or half the carbs. I say half, but it's probably not accurate, to lactic acid. And so you don't need to count them all. That's what he says. People argue, but I choose to believe it, and I've done it from the beginning, eating yogurt practically every day. So, still working for me. I'm not worrying about it. Okay. Primal Kitchen avocado mayo sounds really, really amazing. How can I figure out my macros? They're in the Facebook page pinned post, or email me ketochaos@gmail.com. I'll send it to you. Okay. It's called Keto Chaos. There's two. One is my personal Facebook page. One is a group. If you join the group, it'll ask you to answer 2 questions. Make sure you answer them or you won't get in. And on my page, I look like this. And it's a close-up of my face. And on the group, it's a before and after. That's kind of how you can tell which one is which. It gets confusing, I know. All right. That's it. All right, guys. Woohoo! Good chat. Good chat, everyone. It was great seeing all the new people here today, especially you, Sarah. I can't wait to get to know you even more. Do you have a channel? I'm going to have to check you out if you do, and if you don't, well, we could start one. But yeah, it's good to meet you. I would assume since it's Sarah Jane's Journey that you do have a channel, so I'll be checking you out. Anyway, thanks so much for everyone who came. And if you watch this live later, comment below with your favorite tip to stay on track after Super Bowl or on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not a footballer, but I know there's footballers out there. So comment with your favorite tip for Super Bowl Sunday, and we will see you all again soon. Double checking, making sure. Oh, April, thank you for the tip. That's true. Add Mio to your yogurt. It's so delicious. I love you all so much, and I'll talk